Downsizing can look like a fresh start, a smaller home, less maintenance, lower bills, and more freedom. But for many couples, it also brings up something they weren't expecting: stress, grief, money worries, and resentment. And sometimes tension in the relationship. So if you're starting to wonder whether the family home is becoming too much, this is the conversation to have before the sold sticker goes up. Because downsizing doesn't just change your address. It can change your daily routine, your finances, your identity, and even the way you relate to each other. In this video, I'm going to walk through the 4 pressure points that often come up when couples downsize. And stick with me, because number 4 will really surprise you. The money pressure, the grief of leaving the family home, the workload that often falls on one person, and what happens when one of you is more ready to move than the other. Because the move itself isn't usually what causes the problem. It's the things that don't get talked about. The first pressure point is money. Most couples expect the obvious costs: the agent, the conveyancer, the removalist. But it's often the smaller costs that create the real stress: cleaning, gardening, storage, repairs before the sale, new furniture that fits the smaller home, body corporate fees, retirement village fees, moving insurance, redirecting mail, updating documents, paying for help with things that you used to manage yourself. And when you're retired or living on a fixed income, those extra costs can feel much bigger. But it's not just about the money going out. It's the fear behind it. Will we have enough? What if we sell and can't find the right home? What if the new place costs more than we expected? What if we make the wrong decision? That quiet financial pressure can sit in the background and make every conversation feel heavier. So, before you make any big decisions, get clear on the real costs, not just the selling costs, the moving costs, the setup costs, the ongoing costs, and the costs of getting the right help. The second pressure point is grief. And this is the part that people often don't talk about. You might know, logically, that the home is too big now. The garden might be getting harder. The spare rooms may be sitting empty. The maintenance may be wearing you down. The stairs, the driveway, the heating and cooling. It can all start to feel like too much. But that doesn't mean it's easy to leave, because this isn't just a house. It's where the children grew up. It's where birthdays happened, where Christmas lunches were held, where grandchildren ran through the backyard, where you planted the garden, where you knew all the neighbours, where everything felt familiar. So, when one of you says, "It's only a house," the other person may hear, "Your memories don't matter," and that can really hurt. This is why grief needs to be acknowledged. You can be ready for a smaller home and still feel sad about leaving. You can know it's the right decision and still miss what you had. Both things can be true. The third pressure point is the workload. Downsizing sounds simple from the outside. Sell the house, buy something smaller, and move. But in reality, it can feel like taking on a full-time job when you thought you were meant to be enjoying retirement. There are cupboards to sort, boxes to pack, furniture to measure, trades to organise, photos, paperwork, family keepsakes, old tools, linen cupboards, garage shelves, years and years of life to go through. And often, one person ends up carrying more of that load. One of you may be focused on the finances and the sale. The other may be the one sorting out the photo albums, deciding what to keep, speaking to the children, booking the cleaner, organising donations, and quietly carrying the emotional weight of the move. And that's when resentment can creep in. Not because either of you is doing the wrong thing, but because you're both under pressure in different ways. So, before you begin, sit down and divide the workload. Who is speaking with the agent? Who is getting quotes? Who is sorting the garage? Who is speaking with the children? Who is managing the paperwork? And where you do need outside help. Because trying to do everything yourselves can make the whole process harder than it needs to be. The fourth pressure point is probably the biggest one. One of you may be more ready than the other. On the surface, you may have both agreed that downsizing makes sense, but underneath, one of you may still be feeling very attached to the home. One of you might be thinking, this is sensible. It's time. We'll have less maintenance. We'll be closer to shops, family, and medical care. While the other one might be thinking, I'm losing my garden. I'm losing my shed. I'm losing my space. I'm losing my home where I felt most like myself. And if that isn't talked about, it can create a quiet sadness. One partner may feel excited about the next chapter. The other may feel like they're being dragged into it. And that's where the disconnect starts. One person thinks, why can't you just see this is better for us? While the other one thinks, you don't understand what I'm giving up. And that's why it's so important not to rush the emotional side of the decision. Downsizing may be practical, but it's also deeply personal. So, what can you do before it becomes overwhelming? Firstly, start the conversation early. Not when the house is already on the market, not when a buyer is making an offer, and not when the removalist is booked. Start before the pressure is high. Ask each other, what are we both looking forward to? What are we both worried about? What will we miss about this home? What do we absolutely need in the next home? What costs do we need to understand? What tasks do we need help with? And what would make this move feel easier? This is also the time to get clear advice. Speak to your agent early, speak to your conveyancer, talk to your family if they're involved, get realistic numbers. Make a plan before decisions feel urgent, because the goal is not just to sell the family home. The goal is to move in a way that protects your peace, your finances, and most importantly, your relationship. If you're in the position where the family home is starting to feel too much, please don't wait until everything feels urgent. Start the conversation now. Talk about the money. Talk about the memories. Talk about the workload. And talk about what each of you needs to feel comfortable. And if you're thinking about downsizing in Mornington or on the Mornington Peninsula, comment Mornington below and I'll send you our downsizing checklist. It's designed to help you feel more prepared, less overwhelmed, and more in control of your next move. Because downsizing should not pull you apart. Done carefully, it can help you step into the next chapter together.